It is I, Saucy, the musical mathematician.
Law 1, you come from a piece that none can disturb. The hidden one is you get back to zero if you need to purge. Law 2, nothing in this world can be against you. All your experiences are here to lift you and assist you. Law 3, your knowing is unlimited. Your not knowing just mean your mind ain't formed it into sentences. Let go of the ignorance, step into your omnipotence. Challenges will fall once you cultivate the experience. Law 4, words plus emotion is a potion. You can change the world by being true and just evoking. Keep your heart still down to the world and go reach higher land. I know I will succeed, I surrender to the divine plan. Law 5, God needs you to come into existence. Let your intuition guide you inside you, let go resistance. Law 6, God need to punish his no rewards. You are one with the Lord, that power is all yours. Law 7, rejection, redirection, don't make life hard. You have the power, but not the right to just ignore God. Choose peace, detrimental emotions make you lose sleep. This medicine and candy, I will, therefore I am free. Law 8, you are not a human, you're a divinity. So in the face of challenges, you can maintain your inner peace. Law 9, it's not what you think or what you affirm. It is who is thinking and affirming. Gotta discern the knowledge you've obtained is not the only education. No longer match your motives through rationalization. Law 10, sacrifice your strength to go be with the all. Receive the call, give it all up and you'll receive it all. Law 11, you descended here to just enjoy your essence, not in doing works on earth, the quest to get to heaven. Big stepping, born repping for the most high. No lie, suited for success, I got next just like a bow tie. A again. Whoa. 11. These are laws. These are principles. They're not commandments. Whoa.
Yeah. I had to elevate my mental. I got up off my ass and pressed the gas on my potential. I tamed my temptations, now I'm taking care of my temple. I pull up to the function, skip the line, I'll show credentials. They know I'm presidential. Everything monumental when you recognize your moment. See, I built it on my own, so ain't no question if I own it. They used to laugh, call me alone, and now they ask for a loan. See, my exit, I wouldn't succeed. I plant my feet and now I grown. See, I used to be a stoner, now I'm high off life. I'm up high in plain sight, just hopped off a flight. Me and Hunt, old kid, now they gotta raise the price, cause I invested in myself and made it back overnight. Dog, we all fall short, don't give a fuck about your height. In America, do you wrong, so you better know your rights. See, they do it for attention, I just follow intuition. I'm on a mission, why they missing? I ain't difficult, I'm different. Ooh. Nah, I can't settle. See, I bet it on myself, now everything getting better. Nah, I can't settle. They want me to come down, told them meet me on my level. Nah, I can't settle. See, I was low, now I'm on higher level. And they keep asking how I did it, dog, I'm special. I'm just special. If life's a marathon, I deserve a medal. Yeah, nah, I can't settle. See, I was low, now I'm on higher level. And they keep asking how I did it, dog, I'm special. I'm just special. If life's a marathon, with my gold medal. See, I used to try to force it, now I flow with it. They threw dirt up on my name, but now I grow with it. I used to wait up on my blessing, now I go get it. I'm done waiting, done debating. If God tests me, let him grade me. This that top shelf flow, yeah, I'm way out your reach. Used to choose between shoes, now I tell them give me each. But I don't brag about no fashion, cause I ain't one for the flash. Used to sag, now I'm a grown man. I keep my belt fast and had so much on my plate. But then I started fasting, then I started meditating, then I started levitating. This that self-knowledge, black man educated, could've been in that cell. Now every day a celebration. Now these days I practice celibacy and focus on development. And I ain't really emotional, I'm just emotionally intelligent. Shawty call me selfish cause I'm focused on my betterment. These days I'm on a higher level. No, I can't settle. Whoa. Nah, I can't settle. See, I bet it on myself, now everything getting better. Nah, I can't settle. They want me to come down, told them meet me on my level. Nah, I can't settle. See, I was low, now I'm on higher level. And they keep asking how I did it, dog, I'm special. If life's a marathon, I deserve a medal. Yeah, nah, I can't settle. See, I was low, now I'm on higher level. And they keep asking how I did it, dog, I'm special. If life's a marathon, want my gold medal. Yeah.
Sacrificing sleep for my dreams. Sailing across the atlas, this shit deeper than some streams. Everything ain't what it seems, and I'm reading in between, translating frequencies from ethereal beings. I can walk through the streets and remain unseen. My protection on a beam, my direction, 7 seas. Cinematic tendencies, currencies, infinite. On some classic type shit, so consistent with the hits. Cosmic message on the lips, clearly heaven never miss. Crucial metamorphosis, I swear I died 1,000 times, but still I rise by the power of Most High. I heard legends never die, but we bound to the crown. That motherfucker heavy than 1,000 evil eyes. Getting stronger with my boundaries, cause my spirit is the prize. And my soul is as vibrant as the moon on summer nights. And my mind is a dive into all that's divine. Sacred scribe, watching Gemini rise. When I was born, I loved my mama womb so much that I was trying to hold on. I had problems with the breath, cause my spirit never left. I survived 1,000,000 threats, projections aimed at my neck, death sentence to my success, abuse of my innocence, transmuting the bullshit, speak life on my lineage, protecting women and kids, raising respectful men, honoring the land, keeping the sacred, infusing the planet with healing and presence, wisdom of ancients, pumping through my veins, scream my ancestors' names, we ain't here to play, coming for every fucking thing you ripped from my kin and them, multiply that shit by 10, can't quantify my existence. I am an uncompromised transmission in this holographic realm of those addicted to the gram. My heart chakra bleeds for those in need of connection. You magnetize all your blessings when you lead with intention, and you lean into forgiveness, and you see all you've been given, and you amplify your mission with compassion for your lessons, giving grace to your versions that's in need of the healing, saving space for potential cause your growth has no ceilings. And now I'm building you up cause you are my reflection. I feel collective fear and pain, and I can't answer all those questions, but we all know the problem, and we cry for solutions. We didn't watch all our legends up and die for the truth. Strange fruit, tongue-tied for our lives by the noose. I will no longer be silenced by those who deny our truth. Fulfilling the prophecy, feeling the potency of a black woman near her prime. What a joy it is to see. Every win for my sis is a W for me. Reflecting my inner light, is it W or me? No double cup, just tea. Pour libations up for me. When I bounce out this bitch at the altar, sing my name. Leave me raspberry leaf. Fill my cup up for me. Play my voice over the seas. Lava for eternity. Lava is eternity.
Shimim Hotep, Shimim Ra, Ashe. Uncle Job, Sanib, Sanepti, Ashe. We give thanks for the verbal elixir and divine frequency of Lava God. Just know if you're hearing my voice, you are the new deity. You are the Neteru. You are the Orisha. You are the Vedic. You are the Mayan, Aztec. You are the Akan, the Dogon. All that is God is in you. So we lack nothing. Give thanks.
You're worthy, you're priceless, a diamond or shooting star. You're holy, you're righteous, you're perfect as who you are. You're worthy, you're priceless, a diamond or shooting star. You're holy, you're righteous, you're perfect as who you are. Don't let them define you, you're growing through dimensions, no losses, just lessons. And that's why your faith is strong. Every time you hit your low, it's always bounce back. Every time you lost your glow, got your shine back. Anytime you felt alone, God had your back. Better know that, and it shows that you're worthy, you're priceless, a diamond or shooting star. You're holy, you're righteous, you're perfect as who you are. You're worthy, you're priceless, a diamond, a shooting star. You're holy, you're righteous, you're perfect as who you are. I love you, reflection, we flexing on our haters. We wish them the best, but protecting our sacred love. No weapons formed against us could take us away from God. We praying, we praising, we grateful, we came from love. You're worthy, you're priceless, a diamond or shooting star. You're holy, you're righteous, you're perfect as who you are. You're worthy, you're priceless, a diamond, a shooting star. You're holy, you're righteous, you're perfect as who you are.
You are a bright light. Your essence, it brings life. Encoded in your DNA is eternal life. A walking constellation on this earth, radiating beyond our three-dimensional sight. Your level of productivity does not define your worth. Your worthiness is inherent to your being. Your existence is a gift from the heavens through all of eternity. Speak highly of what you seek. Your words are medicine. Your breath is a holy sacrament. Baptize yourself in these affirmations. A living wish come true. We are honored to exist alongside you.
From the darkness of your mind, your soul, coming from a melanin dark matter, moving at the speed of light. Africa Bambata, in honor of the goddess Sarah, one energy, one spirituality, one feeling, one of knowledge. Sarah, she is Osset, she is Hiterek, she is Hat and Basek. She is the power of meditation. Sarah, one belief. Sarah, she is of the goddess, the one God, Atum Amen Ra, Allah Patah Kepara. Sarah. 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 Did I frighten you?
The time has come for bad things to end. The time has come for life to begin. The time has come for the war of the
Ether, the home of the gods, the realm of spiritual existence, where thoughts are formed and sound is born. Here we exist formlessly until our bodies manifest. It is here where the wars began, where higher mind battles ego and karmic debt comes to collect. Start at this place to reclaim your ascendant self, my child. Because we all know that after the wars come peace. Peace.
Learn to cloud surf while never leaving Earth. 10 toes firmly planted in the dirt for what it's worth. See my life flash before my eyes a couple times, so I'd be lying if I said I don't believe in the divine. For reasons we can't find, the truth will probably blow our minds. This energy in the universe send chills down your spine. Had a talk with a goddess about human design. Pull my coat to how I need to get my chakras aligned. Gotta break some bad habits, it's addition by subtraction. Move away from bad actors, trying to leech off your action. It's the laws of attraction, gotta see it before it happens. Gotta believe it with a passion, then receive this beautiful madness. Find a pattern in the chaos, their assessment was way off. You build it from the ground up, you own it, so ain't no layoffs. Your energy is equity, cashing on your day off. Hope to reach a couple souls, it's all a part of the payoff.
Peace and blessings, star seeds. Peace and blessings. Peace. Oh, I'm so excited for tonight. How you doing, star seeds? Oh. Hold on, y'all. I guess I get the remix. Hold on. Whoop. Oh, y'all like that, huh? It was a remix. Welcome. Hey, peace and blessings, star seeds. It's the goddess Rael. Let me back up. Goodness. All right, y'all getting a real preview. Peace and blessings. Thank you for being in the building. It's the goddess Rael, and welcome to Pronoia Starseed Podcast, y'all. Thank you for being here tonight. I hope you're doing good. I've had a day. It's been a good day, but it's been a day. Peace. Hey, sis. Peace and blessings. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, King Adonis. Thank you to my sister, Smart Video Girl. Thank you all for tapping in early. I know I wasn't here on time, but you still showed up on time. So shout out to you. Kudos to you for being on time. I've got to do better next season. How you doing tonight, Starseeds? Are you good? I hope you're good. I hope you had a great day. I hope you're ready to hang out with your family soon, because I know a lot of y'all are going to be hanging out with your family real soon. If you ain't seen them in a long time, tell them Rael said hey. Okay? Yes, thank you for being here. Hey, Cuzzo. Man, listen. I am so happy that y'all are here. And my chair is squeaking. We got to get a new chair. Look, next season, it's going to be a whole new setup. But I'm going to keep the cats. And I'm going to keep the intro video. Not the intro video, but the song. Shout out to Dub Young for the original Pronoia song. That's right. When you see me come on the screen, that song is originally written for this show. So shout out to Dub Young for that. So Starseeds, it is a very special night tonight. Yes, we are. Well, then you know what? We on the same frequency. Maybe it's the new moon energy. Maybe it's we moving into the new calendar year energy. Maybe it's all the shedding, the karmic energies losing their mind. I don't know, but whatever. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing great. Even though it's been a day, I'm always great. So thank you for tapping in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Yo, we are growing, y'all. Y'all know I'm all about the authentic, organic viewers. So we are slowly but surely growing here on YouTube. So I thank you for sharing. Make sure you share with someone you know who is open. We ain't trying to convert people over to being Starseeds no more. We passed that point. We just teaching now. So anybody you know who would enjoy Pronoia, come on, invite them over. Thank you to all the new people who are tapping in tonight. Thank you. Tonight is a very special night. As I was saying, we have a very special guest in the building. A lot of you guys already know him as Knowledge Born Allah of Do the Knowledge Radio. That's right. I used to be over there on a show called Seeds of the Sun. That's right. And I tap in on a regular basis to see the God, Knowledge Born Allah. And he is in the building with us tonight. So we're going to have some divine conversations with him. We don't write anything down over here. So we just going to let divine lead the conversation. Anyway, let me check and see if my guest is ready. And once he pops on that screen, I know he'll be ready to come up, and I'm going to play a video as soon as I see him. So how y'all doing? Everybody having a day? Everybody feeling the same? Are you excited for this new calendar year? Do you have any plans for this fire horse year? I do. I have plenty, but I'm not sharing. Keeping the lips closed. Because the loose lips sink ships. That's right. So, there he is. All right. So, again, tonight we are joined by one of my favorite people. Yes, he is. He's from Do the Knowledge Radio. He goes by the name of Knowledge Born Allah. But before I bring him in, I want to start off with a quick video from Killah Priest. Y'all know who Killah Priest is? You better know who Killah Priest is. If you are from my generation, I know you know who Killah Priest is. But for those who don't, well, here's a little something for you. When we come back, Knowledge Born will be joining me here. Stay tuned, Starseeds. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
It's the Mark Moon.
Shit. Nah. Love the royal priesthood. Mark Buddha, Sekou the Madman, Killah Priest, 4th Chambers, 4 Fuji. This beat sound like something I wear. You dig? Yo, hold on, my people. Why you walking around like you equal? They wrote you in as 3/5. What we gonna do about this? Talk too much, you end up like Jimi Hendrix in 27th Club. You want that knowledge? Well, I'm the plug. Knowledge itself is the drug. And I keep dropping the nugs. Culture pushing, wisdom spitting, pimping simpletons into listening. Yawning while you spewing fiction. I can feel the tensions in your intentions. I wonder if that's Johnson heaven. If God is white, why he write that bronze of the sun? They give us reparations. That's when the apocalypse begun. Yeah. Red rhyme, okay. Yeah. Red rhyme, better rhyme. Grab your guns, daughters and sons. Wasn't long ago when they had us hung. Blood on the leaves, frontal crumbled in between. Exhale for my ancestors that prevailed. We inhale, so we inhale, dodging death every day. Just happy I'm here to tell the tale. Meanwhile, y'all with the pigs and them tattletales. I'ma just be a scientist if it all fails. Mixing chemicals like a cocktail. My trees smell like it's from the tropical. So not for sale, never settle. Follow the tears on the trail. Nah.
That whole African American thing is to omit, you see, the indigenous black man of this particular land. When we brought the African American term, we cut out all of the Caribbean, all of South America, all all of Latin America. And this is another way to reclassify you. You see what I'm saying? Outside of power.
We got blacks, whites, brown and yellow. We got red, those with dreads found from the ghetto. We got bullet-led and misled, the smile of the devil. On the face of the moon, heart pound like a rebel. Hear the sound of the metal. War in Iraq, 6 feet underground with the shovel. All over the map. The Bible said signs of the time. The Torah said that's your God, not mine. The Holy Quran says it's all Allah's design. The Buddhist says let's meet at the shrine. Thou shalt not eat of the swine. That you is the cut, sure as blue as the blood. Kill a priest in the temple, Nehru is the love.
That's a political move that was put in by the government to break you down to this subclass, you see, and not be a world community. So to call you an African American is to disconnect you from that global community and that great diaspora that we were talking about. So that's a political move. Yes, come on. The average Native American was this brother's complexion at the turn of the century. Now when you say Native American, it's some white person with a feather in his hair.
I am a fan. Peace, God.
Peace, peace. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. So the goddess name is Neru?
Neru, the fourth Fuji, okay?
Oh, the fourth Fuji. I love that. So I got the video right before I came on, so I didn't get to watch it all. And I did not know that she was the fourth Fuji. Okay, I didn't see that. So I'm a big Fuji's fan. I love that. I think that's really dope. Thank you for
heard it harmonized and rhyme, so you can kind of hear why. You understand what I'm saying? You know,
absolutely.
Rolling with the illest. You understand what I'm saying? Let me get my throat together. Peace and blessings, star seeds. You understand what I'm saying? So the star seeds up in here, all right? The star seed subsidiaries up in here, all right?
Yes.
That's right. It's an honor and privilege to be here. Season 5 has been on fire. I don't know about y'all. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know about y'all, but I've been watching season 5. Season 5 hit different, okay? Season 5 hit different from its inception, from its variety, from, this rotation. You know what I'm saying? This God Israel work God, okay? I ain't going to say workhorse. I ain't even going to disrespect him. You understand what I'm saying? Hitting us all times of the days and the nights. The variancy between the weekend and the weekday, new guests, new everything. I'm telling you, like, this team is super serious. So I'm thankful to have had the honor of witnessing everything come together and everybody on their job, okay?
Yeah.
My Uru up in here, you understand what I'm saying? The numerology God up in here, you understand what I'm saying? Mr. Westbrook, the goddesses always on point doing what they're doing. Whether we learn in tarot, whether we learn in human design, whether we learn any of these things, I think it's a remarkable way for the advanced mind and those ones who are looking to advance their mind, their consciousness, and their being to be transformed. You understand what I'm saying? This is definitely the epicenter and the place for them to be able to do that. So glad to be here.
Man, what an introduction. Thank you.
Got me in my feels today, okay? You got me in my feels today. I don't normally be here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love the goddess got me in my behind you and shit. Like,
yes, okay? I'm rolling with her. You understand? I don't care what they talking about. I'm rolling with her.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming through. Like I said, I've known Knowledge for quite a while now. And we have gone through, like, as far as working together, we work together on projects. He's come over here and I really appreciate you. I really have. You have extremely expanded my network. I have been on the Killer Priest Podcraft. Killer Priest, I got to get him over here on season 6. I got to get him Knowledge because, we had a little mix up one time and we got to get him over here. And then we had, Dr. Inky came through here. Mm-hmm. We had some energy come through here. My Ulisa, my sister who I met. That's how I met the God through my Ulisa. So shout out to that sister, my Woo. And then Mr. Westbrooks. Like, it was so crazy. I met Knowledge, Sunshine, and Mr. Westbrooks all at one time on Clubhouse. And I was just
Yeah.
like impressed. Everybody was like knowledgeable in what they were speaking. I was just like, wow, like, yes, this is the type of team, you know what I'm saying, that I need around me, the type of tribe, the type of energy, because I'm always about learning. And I enjoy to learn from others who are really as enthusiastic and authentic in themselves. So thank you for being you and allowing me to be in the presence of gods and goddesses. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you showing so much love to Pronoia, honestly. You always support us over here, and I really appreciate it. And so it was only righteous that we close out the year with Knowledge Born Allah. This is the end of season 5, y'all. This is the end of season 5, but we're gonna roll this thing out like an Erykah Badu album. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a little in the middle, because January I will be back on. I am not stopping. Divine has not given permission to hit the brakes. So I'll be back in January, but season 6 officially begins in February. So we're going to have that in between, but I will be here doing some Transformation Tuesdays. We may still have a few Starseeds pop in. I'm not work them to the death. They get a break if they want one. Me, I have to go by what Divine says. And Divine told me to keep going. I guess it's something I need to do in January. So we just going to keep on pushing through. So thank you again for tapping in, Starseeds. Every time I see y'all pop up, y'all might not believe it or not, but I'd be surprised. Since day one, I've always thought I would be the only person in here watching my podcast. And it was okay with me. I just needed to get the shit out. You know what I'm saying? I just needed the space to release all the information that was getting downloaded. But then it just became, I asked Divine what I should be doing. He put me in front of the screen, and it just grew into what it is. So thank you again for being a part of that growth and expansion in the network. You really have helped me, honestly, get to know more Starseed. So thank you for that.
It's a part of our story, right? And I think that's kind of the crux of what we're talking about tonight. So everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. All of the Starseeds, right? They have a inception, they have a reign, and then they have their transition. And even in their transition, there's still a story. All of these aspects that I spoke about have their own story. So in the credence of your own story, there's stories of lives that you lived prior to this incarnation, right? So you come here and you think, okay, in the space of singularity, this is the only time I've been here. This is the only life. They were like, you only got one life. You got to make the most of it. You can have multiple lives that you lived prior to being here in this present state. And all of them have a story, right? Mitochondrially, they're in your DNA, right? So she has your story, right? She has been entrusted with the archival blessing of your story, right? So everything that you were, that you are, and that you will be is there and contained. So that becomes a story, right? And you're a child of her. You are your mother's child. You are your father's child. They both have stories lodged within their genetic coding that give you a credence. So one of the greatest things my mother ever did was become mother. That was a conscious decision and choice. She beseeched before God and asked God and said, God, I know you put me on this planet for a particular purpose and a mission. So ever since she was a child, she wanted to have children, right? And she went to see the doctors, and the doctors told her that she wouldn't be able to have any children. So I want us to understand how your story becomes greater even in the face of adversity. Adversity comes not to stifle your story, but to give your story more credence, right? That's easier said than done while you're on this path and you get knocked around. But in that space of being knocked around, you understand that this opposing force is an aspect of you and your being that qualifies you. So when they want to know your work history, when they want to know your work experience, guess what they're asking you for? What you've been through. your trials, your tribulations, and all of those things. If my mother would have believed these doctors told her she wouldn't have any children at the age of 15, I wouldn't be here. So she had to put this on one side of the scale. And what her inclination to her Lord was on the other side. And said, who is going to be the deciding factor for how I'm going to live my life, how I'm going to fulfill my story? So she's in the middle of that. So she might have had an inclination of doubt in her mind, Goddess Rael. She might have had a moment where she was like, yo, I don't know if I'm ready. I know I asked God all of this stuff. I don't know if I'm ready for what God about to give to me. You understand what I'm saying? And then she had blessed assurance. She knew that she wasn't in the presence of people who had her best interest at heart. So she had that coming into being moment. And this is her story, right? She has 14 siblings. They all have their story. I have 6 siblings. They all have their story. Nobody has to become anything. Nobody has to try to pretend to be something that they're not. Your existence is enough. So when I begin the process of looking at story and storytelling, I begin to get some insight in regards to how important the story you tell yourself is. Because the world got a story for you. You know what I'm saying? And anybody, anywhere, depending on how they feel about you in that moment, might tell a story that's favorable or not favorable. But they're reflecting their experience, not yours.
Facts.
We talked about that movie Sinners a few times, right? You and I. Mm-hmm. The story was told from the vantage point of an elder man who was about to transition. And he had told this story in his club night after night, right? To the guy behind the bar. And the guy behind the bar probably like, yeah, that old man, maybe that fire water good to him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but he's telling it so vivid. He's telling it with so much recollection. And then the story walks into his club. It goes out of his mind from that space that he shared with this guy from behind the bar to real life. It walks in as proof, right? So if we look at it from that space, now we can look at this movie that was written and directed, right? They used to have things called fiction and nonfiction, right? There's no such thing as fiction. No such thing as fiction. I'll get to that in a second, right? But once you realize who is telling the story and from what vantage point they're telling the story, now you can see the host of characters that are surrounding. And any character that you have an inkling to, you can tell another story from that story. So if you watch Power or any of these other shows out here, you have a main character and they have a supporting cast around the character. So around the supporting cast of the character, your readers or your listeners or your viewers decide whom they resonate with the most, whether they love them or hate. And the amount of response that draws towards a particular character in the story, stories can be built around them. They want to know about that person's story. That's when you know you told a good story, right? So my mother was the main character in the story, right? So she told me my birth story. And she told my birth story to the world. So I, in turn, know my naming convention, the purpose of the story, and all of those things. So if you begin to share with your children or your star seeds those aspects of their story, they don't have to go to anybody else to try to figure it out. They're not sitting at nobody's feet thinking that they're going to fulfill them. They came from your womb. via the cosmic womb or your physical womb. So you know them from a clock to what they would grow into, and the soul's contract that y'all have with one another in regards to you ushering them into their mission on the planet, along with the lesson that they're going to learn, is the soul's cosmic journey into the physical world.
Yeah.
So all of these become stories that we sort of gloss over because we don't take the time to give them the credence. And this is the foundation, and wonder why things are falling apart. So I yield right there.
Yo, that's a lot. That's true. It's so true. All of our stories are interwoven, like everybody has their own personal story going on when you even meet up with people, and then they become a part of your story, but they have their own story going on as well. And this is all a part of divine seeing itself in every aspect. That's why God sees all, because God is working through each and every one of us and seeing through our eyes. And so we're able, I love that you teach us more about how to, tell our own stories. But you are so right that we all have our own story, because when you spoke about your mother, that happened to me as well. My doctor told me before I had my first child that she didn't say I wouldn't be able to. She said, if I wanted to have children, that I needed to first get on birth control, right? Because I was only having one menstrual cycle a year, if that. So I was just asking a question like, so what happened? She's like, well, if you would like to, this is how, well, I'm in my 20s. I'm like, no, okay, well, good to know. Yeah, but then I started being sick a couple months later, and I'm like, what's wrong with me, doc? And she's like, checking for everything. And I'm talking about everything. She's like, checking everything but pregnancy, because she just knew her word was bond. But she's not God. Like, she is not God. She is a doctor. She can only give me a hypothesis. God is the one who's going to make the final decision. And lo and behold, the reason I was gray in the face, like less than 6 months after she told me that, was because I was pregnant. And it was like, it was a realization that, yeah, the doctor could say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, but God has the final say. And to know that, like, wow, that was a big part of my story. And that's a part of my daughter's story, because I told her, like, I didn't even know you was going to come through. And that's a part of her story now. Like, my mom wasn't even expecting to be able to have children, and so we are interwoven in each other's stories, like I've had starseeds here, again, who've had similar experiences to me. And that's what brought them here. And our stories become interwoven because now we're sharing our stories together with others in order to help them grow. And it was divinely guided that way. But divine is always in control. And I love that you teach us about storytelling, because I think that it's important that we tell our stories. Patah was here, and he was mentioning, we did temple talks, and we were talking about how, again, the allegories in the Bible could be any of our stories. At some point, we all may have felt like Job. At some point, we may have had to wrestle with an angel. You know what I'm saying? At some point, we all questioned the angel before us that was telling us we was pregnant with a new idea. We too old to be pregnant with this new idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? I got to start over. And the angel said, shush now. That's my favorite one. Abraham and Sarah, oh my goodness, shut your mouth. That angel said, shut your mouth. Okay? Yes. The stories definitely need to be heard. And that's what we are here doing on Pronoia. We're very vulnerable. We like to share our stories. And I think that each and every person has an important, again, each thread is interwoven. It's not by chance that people come to this podcast. It's not by chance when you meet someone. It's billions of people in this world you will never meet, because it's not a part of your story. But those that you're supposed to meet, even the villains in your story, are important in your story for elevation, right? Because struggle, if you're pushing up a weight, you're going to struggle, right? But you're going to get stronger each time. So every person plays a very important part in telling our stories, even if we don't mention the people, okay? Even if it's the action or it's the growth that you got from that. And that's an important part. People leave that out a lot of times. Celebrities, when they, we see them and we like, oh, I want to be just like them, but you don't know the struggles. You don't know what they had to give up. You don't know what they had to sacrifice. Do you really want to be like them? Like, be careful what you ask for type thing, because you don't know everyone's individual story. So yeah, I love that. I love that, you know, we all have the ability, like I said, to write. We can write our own Bible. We can all talk about the trials and the tribulation and the things that we've gone through in this life and how we've been able to lean on divine and how divine has shown up in our lives individually. You know, and then we can also look at how divine has shown up collectively for us when things look rough. You know, we can write our own Bible. People put so much on these stories, but they have to understand that we are the living stories. We are walking, living, breathing stories in our own right. So yes, I'm digging the storytelling tonight. And you want to tell them about, because Knowledge also has, like, again, he's a storyteller. Like, he tells his story in many different ways. And I know we had we had done a whole show on your last audio book, right? And you want to talk to the audience about that?
I will. My grandmother, my mother's mother, right? I got to say my mother's mother for some people, because, you know, they don't get taught grand no more like that. My mother's mother, my uncle, so her younger brother, was in my grandmother's womb. And the doctors told my grandmother that it was a tumor. That my uncle in her womb was a tumor. So that should tell you what the doctor knows, right?
Right.
So my grandmother went to church, and the reverend there, I want y'all to hear me clearly. My grandmother went to church, okay? And one of the reverends there gave her a reading. I'm going to say this for a third time. My grandmother went to church, and one of the reverends there, Reverend Jordan, gave her a reading. And she said, the doctors is telling me that there's a tumor. And Reverend Jordan looked at my grandmother and said, wait a couple of months, and you'll find out whether it's a tumor or not. And sure as the day is long or short, depending on the solstice, right? Sure as the day is long or short, depending on the solstice. My uncle was born a couple of months later. As a matter of fact, his birthday is 7 days from today.
Oh, wow.
And he's in the 70s, okay? He's in the 70s. So he's been tied to this church ever since he was a tumor in my grandmother's womb. So if my grandmother would have listened to the doctors, my uncle wouldn't be here. So look at, even in succession, even within the realm of the stories are interwoven. They start off from a place of singularity, but they're illustrated through familial ties.
Yes.
So your purpose, the lesson you're supposed to learn, your trials, your tribulations, they're all written in the astral Bible that you were speaking of, Goddess Rael. They're written in the stars, hence the star seeds, right? So your star genetics and your astrological course is already written from before time, a now time, and a future time. Everything you were, are, and will be written in an astral logos, right? That story of the star seed, even unto the transition where the star burns and becomes quarks after. You see what I'm saying? Like the cell does the same thing. There's quarks inside of the cell, right? So that universe, that solar system, all of these things are happening within you. So all of these are stories within stories within stories within stories. So for my series, it's Voices of the Diaspora. And Voices of the Diaspora is dedicated to practical stories that you can utilize to be transformative in your life, depending on what you identify. So, your mission on the planet might be to tell stories. Volume 6 is dedicated to the content creators, controlling our narrative, changing the narrative that's written and shown about us. Because if you looked in the virtual space, not virtuously, but victimally, you will find something or someone that upsets your stomach, upsets your being, and they look just like you. So when you look at you, you become sick of you, right? You become sick of you. You become sick at the sight of you. You become sick at hearing you in that space. So it becomes designed in that space for you to abhor yourself and to uplift someone other than you, right? So now that becomes that job. So if you have a space of where you're looking to tell your story, to tell the parts of your being, you have to know that you're enough. You have to trust that you sharing this story out, someone's going to glean from that story and somebody's going to be transformed. Somebody's going to become inspired. So these aspects that come from your being, your lived experiences, this is the connectivity that connects us as a family, right? A universal family, one. But then your own family, there's a story. Again, your purpose and the reason why you're here on the planet does not have its genesis with you. It has its genesis with your ancestral bloodline. So you're here to fulfill something that someone before you could not finish. And they're working with you and they're striving to work through you to get this fulfilled. This is one of the things that you said you would do when you got here. So this becomes an interconnected, interrelated story experience. So it could be your great grandfather or your great grandmother who had this way, or one of your uncles, one of your aunts, one of your cousins, one of your closest friends, somebody could have passed on and you're finishing up their work in addition to the lesson that you're here to learn. All interconnected, all related, right? So in essence, what Voices of the Diaspora is our story. Our story via entrepreneurship, which is volume 1. So us in the marketplace. You understand what I'm saying? And that the necessity of being able to bring products and services, gifts, talents, and skills to market for someone who needs those particular products or services. You solve a problem with your gifts, your talents, and with your skills. This platform solves the problem for the starseeds to be able to be heard. So when they come to the marketplace, they know when they see, okay, Pronoia Starseed Podcast, we're about to solve a problem in some kind of way. When they hear the Monica piece and Blessing Starseeds, we're about to get busy. You understand what I'm saying? So that's something that we already hear to glean from. So dedicated to the entrepreneurs, to the hustlers, to the go-getters, to the ones who ain't sitting on their hands, they're going to go get it, right? So we have to continue to raise up those entrepreneurial minds that exist within our young people so they don't become victims of criminalization due to lack, right? Because they're going to get it one way or another. Either you show them how to get it or they're going to learn through osmosis, they're going to snatch something up. You understand what I'm saying? One way or another. So that's volume 1. Volume 2 is dedicated to the Black woman. Volume 2 is dedicated to the Black woman. I don't care what this internet is telling you. I don't care what some of these eunuch-minded men that are walking around here. I don't care. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's in essence, none of us that are Black people would exist in this form without the aid of mother. Without the aid of mother, grandmother, great grandmother, of mother, all in the great line and divine of mother. So we don't teach our people, our young people, our young brothers, our young sisters, how to honor mother, and in essence, honoring themselves. We are in error. We are in error, and nobody is going to fix that unless we fix that. Nobody can fix it. Only we can. You understand what I'm saying? So, volume 2, dedicated to the Black woman. Volume 3 and 4 are dedicated to the stories of the sojourners, the stories of the change agents, the stories of the disruptors, those who make things happen with their hands and their feet. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, Robert John Henry Clark, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "We don't owe nothing to nobody but butt whoopings." You understand what I'm saying? So for those who are going to ensure that there are no deviants amongst us, internally or externally, their minds, their hearts, and their beings have to be prepared for that. And they need righteous examples of those who came before us in that manner. So volume 3 and volume 4 are dedicated to that. Volume 5 is dedicated to the sustainability builders that are amongst us in the physical world via science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So we do real great philosophically, Goddess Rael, and then we fell in the department of sustainability. Where is the follow through? You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that aspect of science, technology, engineering, arts, agriculture, and mathematics, it's there, in that volume there contained dedicated to those scientific minds who solve problems via creating sustainable places for us to live, things for us to eat, technologies, all of these other aspects in regards to it. And they become safe, sustainable things that thinking about long term. You thinking about a bridge, you ain't thinking about 20 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? Hopefully you thinking about 1,000 years, folks going across that bridge and not, 10 minutes because,
right.
You want a quick fix. So volume 6, like I said, dedicated to the content creators. Volume 7 is dedicated to our own philosophers and engineers and those great minds that exist, amongst us. Our own philosophers and educators. That's an engineer. Look, educators, because we think we got to go to China or we got to go to someplace else other than our own self for our own philosophies and our own, sort of education. So it deals with our own education and our own educators, our own philosophers, again, with sustainable programs that's out there, Mauru and Brother Nick, they got the Unread Book Club, on Saturdays. You understand what I'm saying? So they're gonna, make you think. I'm two educators. If they can't make you think, you're just slow. All right? You understand what I'm saying? You're just a little slow.
Just a little slow.
But that volume is dedicated to our educators. You see what I'm saying? And then you deal with volume 8, and volume 8 is beyond the battlefield. Beyond the battlefield, and we're dealing in the aspect of what it means to be a revolutionary, what it means to be a champion, what it means to be an explorer, beyond the space of the battlefield. We get into a lot of spaces where we at war, they'll tell you, we at war, sister, we at war. Like, what do you do after you win? Have you ever won anything? Are you prepared? What is the mindset that comes along with becoming a champion, becoming one who wins? You see what I'm saying? So, volume 8 deals with that in particular. What does it mean to have a winning mindset? What does it mean to be a champion? How do you sustain yourself after, this space of being victorious? How do you go from a player to a winner, to a champion, to a championship dynasty? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how do you do that? How do you create spaces where your children's to the 7th and 10,000th generation not ever know that this time exists other than somebody wrote about it? They don't have to exist in it. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
From that space. And then I have 4 independent volumes that are, again, dedicated. One is called Sankofa Effect, and Sankofa Effect deals with Black movement. We got a lot of organizations throughout our time, 400 or 500 years in America, and we can look at them particularly and go through those Black organizations and see, with these models that we're building and how we're looking to live our lives, what lessons can we learn from them? So again, this is built and designed for the Black family to be able to look within and see all of our various parts and assign these aspects based upon our children's interests and the sustainability of our future. In that movie, After Earth, everybody had a job. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody had a job. And, Jaden Smith, he wanted to be in the Ranger Corps like his daddy. You see what I'm saying? And by the end of the movie, both of them wanted to go work where mama worked at. You understand what I'm saying? They was like, all right, fam, I want to go do what mom does. You understand what I'm saying? He's like, Dad, I want to go do what mom does. He said, me too. You understand what I'm saying? They both was done out there playing, G.I. Joe. You understand what I'm saying? So they saw their talents would be better served in the sustainability side versus this other, cowboys and Indians, so to speak, type of situation that they was dealing with. So, that aspect is dedicated again to, looking back to moving forward, the Sankofa effect. What can you glean from the past to be able to go forward? So that's the Sankofa effect. And my personal favorite, one of the offerings that I made on my God Day, from nameless to knowledge, is 100 of my own observations from my own life, looking at my own life, looking at my own life lessons, and from when I was nameless, right, until coming into the knowledge of me, the knowledge of self, the knowledge of I self, the knowledge of we self, and my responsibility to the collective self. You see what I'm saying? And all of those lessons learned. So it's 100 of those lessons in that space. And that was one I did on my God Day. And then the other one was the power of Black family. The power of Black family is exactly what it is. The consumer world, the entrepreneurial world, the business world, every kind of world knows the power that we possess and we've forgotten. I would say largely due to our lack of understanding of who we are to one another and the value that's associated with one another. These young men not understanding the value of these young Black women, and vice versa, all of us losing our mind and control in regards to all of this foolishness. And we focus on everything other than self, and when we see self in such an abhorrent way. So again, that aspect of coming back into self for the purposes of a righteous future, not just a future, being very intentional and specific in regards to that. And, the power of the Black family, God is right, I don't shy away from the uncomfortable parts. We don't tiptoe around the trauma and all of that. One way to erode our families is that children are to be seen and not heard and stay in the child's place, and this is grown folks' business and all of this other stuff. Now, when somebody is violating them, do they trust you enough to come and tell you that something is actually happening to them? Many of the maladies that we deal with go unpunished via these justifications and continuing old time paradigms in regards to that. So the power of the Black family addresses those things head on. That's right. I was talking about earlier. I know some of y'all going to go see your families. What a better time than now than to prepare your imagination and your mind to be actually dealing with some of these things, right? Some of these things, because where trust is eroded, everything is eroded. We can't be talking about we creating sustainable and powerful families and not addressing the trauma and the drama. If Uncle did some issue wasn't supposed to do, Uncle need to be dealt with. And if we understand that Uncle has to get dealt with, then now we can come to the table and be sitting at the table as a family. Now you know you're dealing with a family. Otherwise, you're dealing with a bunch of individuals whose relationships are strained and debased. So we have to deal with that in regards to truth. And the power of the Black family becomes one of those things where we hone in on the trauma, and then we work through actionable and practical means to get the family back on one accord after these issues are addressed. So that volume and the final volume, the 12th volume, is called Secure the Legacy. And Secure the Legacy is, again, the future of the Black family via emergency preparedness and, from a tactical, there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of things going on. Are we mindful of those things? And, are we prepared for them? I got this book today. I don't know if you can see it. Let me know if you can see it.
It says, "Can while you can."
Yes. So this is from Sister Colette Muhammad, a member of the Nation of Islam, righteous sister, and she's teaching you how to preserve these foods for long-term sustainability, right? So it's not fluff. You understand what I'm saying? Can while you can, So beautiful sister, and she's got this little pamphlet, right? And she has workshops, she has classes, all of these things. Like, how do you sustain in, a disaster emergency situation? The lights go out, generator go out, whatever the case may be. Like, how do you deal? How do you deal on grid? How do you deal off grid? All of these aspects. So some of my training, over the years, the benefits of some of these combat experiences, put them in a volume and, continue. I don't know if you can see the size of this book right here.
Disaster preparation, that's right.
Right. So
preparedness.
This is what they're doing to prepare themselves. This is the depth that they're going through to prepare themselves. We need our own situation. They aren't in our environments, and if they're in our environments, it's a problem. Just like if we're in their environments, it's a problem. So these holistic volumes of Voices of the Diaspora, are meant to be practical pamphlets in ebook form. So you don't have to walk around with 12 books in your pocket, in your purse or whatever the case may be. That's designed with you in mind, designed for your families in mind. So from the entrepreneurial space to the long-term sustainability space, on grid, off grid, whatever the case may be. So 12 volumes dedicated for you in that way, which are caveats to the documentary series, Voices of the Diaspora, that are aimed at telling our stories in the most authentic manner everywhere in the world.
I love that. I noticed, I was listening to you and I was noticing, so I didn't catch, I did catch each number, but some of them stuck out in my head. And I know that none of this is by chance, because I know you don't, like your knowledge. I mean, I know you know. So like the number 2, and that resonates with the woman, and then it's dedicated to the woman. And then the 7, you were talking about the educators, which is the God number, teaching us about ourselves and stuff. So I'm noticing that your volumes also resonate. And of course, thank you, Nick, for always putting numbers in my head. Now all I do is think about numerology. Oh my God.
Yes.
One and the 2.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yes. Oh, shout out to Mr. Westbrooks. It's his birthday today. So shout out to Mr. Westbrooks. Yes.
Look at that synchronicity right there, right?
Exactly. And it's 11/11. Yes, 11/11. 12/22. Shout out to you. Yes, thank you, Mr. King Adonis. But yes, I noticed that each volume resonated with those numbers. And when you talked about emergency preparedness, it's so funny because I used to work for 20 years in disaster assistance. And a lot of things that I've done in my past, like you say, interwoven, I didn't know at the time, which is what it is to be human, right? We don't know what God's plan is for us. We're learning things, but we don't know in the future what we're going to need those things for. You know, like I work for emergency preparedness. I worked for disaster assistance for 20 years. And now I don't do that anymore. But believe me, I know about being prepared. I know what you need. I know about like the underground facilities that we can buy as a community in case, you know, certain things like hurricanes or tornadoes come through. A lot of people don't even think about that. Like you can purchase huge shelters as a community where you can gather when things happen. So you don't have to, you know, evacuate your state. You can actually build these communities that have these underground. You can build them underground, on top of the ground. And I've actually had the honor of being able to go into these, and some are huge. Like they can fit the whole community in there. If it's 25 to 50 people, they can all fit in there for a nice amount of time. And you can put food in there and everything. So I never knew, you know, I never even thought about the future. And now where we at and where we're going, this information is needed, you know. I went to school for fashion design. And now I'm working on clothes and stuff. Like it's crazy because I didn't even, when I was learning it, again, we don't know what we need it for. It's a part of that story. We're doing things, but we don't necessarily know that in the long run, we may need those things that we're doing. We may think it's just a job, but what are we doing in that job? What can we take away from that job and use in real life? Or what will we end up taking away from that job, you know, and using in real life? So I like that. And again, you guys, that is Voices of the Diaspora. It's a 12-volume audio books. Is all audio? Is it, or is there a print copy?
You can get them printed upon request, but they're all, you know, ebook form.
Okay. So you guys, if you are interested, reach out to Knowledge Born Allah. I know he was advertising it, I think, at a certain rate at this point right now. So if you're interested in getting,
I got a Pronoia rate, right?
Yeah.
Starseeds. I got the Pronoia special for the Starseeds. You can get all 12 volumes normally priced at $140 for $50.
$50, you guys. Hey, peace. Thank you for being here. So yes, if you're interested, reach out to Knowledge Born Allah. It's Voices of Diaspora. We talked about it on another show, a previous show, so you can go back and catch that on Pronoia. And again, he gave you the breakdown, 12 volumes, and believe me, it's worth it. And you know, everything is really about teaching us about ourselves and how to protect ourselves, how to be better us, how to be our better selves, and how we can build our communities. You know, we gotten so far away from community, and we're gonna really need each other more and more in the future. We may feel like it's I got me thing, you got you thing, but like you said, our stories are interwoven. There is no individual. We all come from the one. So even, you know, the lowest of the lowest to the highest of the high, we're all created by the Most High. And so our stories will at some point become intertwined. So yeah, it's great to have community around you who, again, are educated on these different things as far as building and everybody having their own specialty. I'm all about building community. So
right. So if it's possible, after we play this other song, if I could show one volume, you know, whatever one you pick between 1 and 12, okay?
Well, you already know which one I'm gonna pick. Which one you think I'm gonna pick? Come on.
You know, I know we got do we have the other song?
Yes, we do. Okay. So you guys seen her here. Her name is Ema X. That's right. Shout out to Ema X. We're gonna play this quick song and we'll be right back. Starseeds. Yeah, I need to take a quick break. So let's go here and I'm be listening. So tap in.
Joy, gratitude, my life is a blur. Beatitude, go figure since a murder. Even out the mix, I cause a stir. I call on my niggas, sir. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Joy, gratitude, my life is a blur. Beatitude, go frankincense, and myrrh. Even out the mix, I cause a stir. I call on my niggas, sir. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. I'm bold, frankincense, and purr. I'm the reason the cause occur. Original, make matrix, primordial darkness, a river song, a time, Lord, no Captain Jack Harkness. The depth of my softness is the height of my hardness. So I wrestle my demons and I strapped on a harness. I strapped on the saddle, the nights in battle. My people would chattel, now I'm leading the cattle. People rallying red, I'm more the type to strike, more the type to Mike, Jordan, Tyson, or Jackson, like, yeah, high fight, step in that. But my path is like what they say ain't adding up, but my math is right. I've been thankful for my car since I had a bike. Garnet third on future vision, transmit like vision at the sight. My intuition's the proof, my mission's to add the sight. Improve conditions and accolades for the acolytes. Joy, gratitude, my life is a blur. Beatitude, go fake this sense of nerve. Even out the mix, I cause a stir. I call on my niggas, sir, gold, frankincense and myrrh. Joy, gratitude, my life is a blur. Beatitude, go frankincense and myrrh. Even out the mix, I cause a stir. I call on my niggas, sir, gold, frankincense and myrrh. They so bank interest and what? The reason the indigenous disappear. So no, January 6th, what we taking your capital. So black is black, when black is blue, like Wall Street, what we tap into. So when you shining, ain't no tapping shoes. People thinking if we win, then they have to lose. That sounds like guilty conscience. I hope they feeling the lacking proof. They wanna check, but they really pawns and they lacking moves. I wanna check some pros and amazing views. Then invested the rest in creating grooves. For the record, using music to make a lane. Your higher self said to tell you you can take the pain. We don't keep the same, ain't here make it, but wanna take the grain. Ever since they met up first, been trying to fake the game. How you make a lane, take a guide and you make them take. Colonize his brain, take his land and just do the same. Joy, gratitude, my life is a blur. Beatitude, go fake this sense of nerve. Even out the mix, I cause a stir. I call on my niggas, sir, gold, frankincense and myrrh. Joy, gratitude, my life is a blur. Beatitude, go frankincense and myrrh. Even out the mix, I cause a stir. I call on my niggas, sir, gold, frankincense and myrrh. I'm gold, frankincense and myrrh, a gift of the Christ in you, causing your core to stir. I need more than awards, give me the chords and the shrine to the God true, the divine me and divine you. Sit at your altar, let your ancestors align you. Cause you are the alchemy they combine to. Their prayers fulfilled, it's like they design you. So don't let nobody define you.
Shout out to Ema X, frankincense and myrrh. Yes, I am a fan of Ema. She has been here a couple times on Pronoia. Again, another dope artist that I met on Do the Knowledge Radio. I saw her there one day and I was like, ooh, she come on over here. Come on over here to Pronoia.
Come on over here. Come on over here.
Come on over here. Come on, girl. Sit on down here. Let's have a conversation.
So which number you said you wanted?
2.
Yes, ma'am. No surprise there.
No surprise. I mean, you know, I'm all about the mother. All right.
All right. Can you see it?
Yes, I can. So you want me to add it to the stage and do I push play?
I'll push it on this end.
Okay. All right, you guys. I'm going, wait a minute. They got us in a crazy view. Let me do this. I'm going to remove us and then I'm going to add it because I'm not that great. I'm great, but I ain't that great. Do we need to be here?
Safe side. Okay, it's your mother. I'm just calling, checking to see if you got off the safe side. Give me a call so I won't worry. Love you. Bye.
I woke up out of a good night's sleep and slipped right into a daydream that may seem like a lifetime. Then the night rewind to this light shine upon my face as I awake
to daydreaming, to chase demons, way to the evening till I'm sleeping. Then I awake, freeze, and I start screaming. It's late, sharp breathing, my heart still beating. Running through the pocket patch, thunderclap, lightning, rain, rivers running from the gaps, valleys, plains, hills, cornfields, sun and path, running back above the map. Is this sleep deprivation, or am I on deep medication? Am I meditating till I'm asleep, but I keep awakening? I'm searching for the requiem inside my mind's aquariums, trying to break free from this lucid entrapment. Using music as my blueprint for magic, my inception to my insurrection for madness. Blessed be priest message, each record's a classic. Pray there's no wreckage when her spirit exit the casket. I called her mommy till she's wrapped like a mummy. My first spaceship was her tummy. I ate what she ate when I'm hungry. Humbled, my arms same time, and an unexpected close encounter of the fifth kind. The Akashic Records, Book of Revelations, we experience the sixth sign. What the prophets predict, shift paradigms. Do we believe in the tarots or their minds? The man that travels through the shadows till he shines. Factual, they don't attack you.
Word, exactly. What we got next? You gonna go down the line?
Yeah, I want to go down the line, man.
The book.
Years, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's been the joint like since it came out. You know what I mean? Between the two, you see what I'm saying? Like, so for my fam, for the artists, for the artistry, for the creatives, you know what I'm saying? You know, for the motivational vocal expressionists, because something great in the building. You see what I'm saying? All of these converging thoughts, you know, are there, and the articulation comes in the space with appreciation for art. You got articulation. It goes back to art. That's art. Your appreciation to express that art in that space. You know what I mean? So, so to God, I said peace, man.
Yeah.
For real. But you gave us a chance, man. You gave us a chance, you know, to do it again. For those who listen. And those who will listen, you see what I'm saying? Like, life is too short in this physical space. It may seem like it's forever, man. It's a moment. It's a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? So you can, if you can repair it. You gave us the words, man. You gave us the words. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wrote letters and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I wrote letters and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, going through it. I had nights where I would just, you know what I mean, at my spot, like in tears, like, yo, like, why you leave me? You understand? Like, like, why you ain't take me with you? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no life like that life. You know what I mean? There's no life like that life. But, you know, she comes to me, you know, every once in a while and just, you know, let me know, like, if I stop, she stops. You know what I mean? So I keep going, so she can keep going, so we can keep going. You know what I mean? Like, I'm my mother's son, but she's more like my twin sister. You know what I mean? So,
man, yo, you, Nas boy, you dropping it, yo. Dad, I should have had you on the end of the album. Yeah, that's real talk. Real talk, bro. Real talk.
These moments, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is love, man. Like when it comes to mother, man, we go hard in the paint.
That's real. That's real. No, for real.
And that father. You see what I'm saying? Like, Pops got a different thing. Pops don't want all that. Pops would have interrupted me, like, man, shut the fuck up, man, doing all that goddamn talking about me. You see what I'm saying? It's short. We keep it short. You see what I'm saying?
Just be great. Yeah, just be great.
Yeah, but mom, man, there's not enough words. You know, not enough.
Dad.
Very dope. Thank you for sharing that. Shout out to Killer Priest. That was very
Yeah, that
dope.
was the interview that we did for the album Mother. You know, his mother transitioned. You know, he took all of his mind, body, and spirit and transmuted it in a way that was like a shock wave, you know, through the heavens and the earth. You know what I'm saying? So he did this in honor of his mother. And, you know, when I spoke to him after I got the word, I took him through everything I wish somebody would have took me through if I was receptive in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Somebody being there in that moment. So, you know, his mother was like all of our mothers. So in essence, we reliving this sort of space again. And, you know, for those who have lost their mother, you know, that's a whole nother thing. You understand what I'm saying? There's a space of disconnect. There's a space where you contemplate no longer being here. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that, you know, kind of go through your mind. You understand? So, you know, me being ahead of that storm, already seeing that, I was able to, you know, speak to him in a way that he could, you know, feel it here and here, you know, in the head and the heart, and prepare him for what he had to go through. You see what I'm saying? So that album was dedicated, and I was like, I was going to put, you know, the Black Woman on there, you know, the joint with Locke and Capone. But I wanted her voice on this album, you know, on this as a soundtrack to describing 100 Black women who changed the world, who changed history, who changed forever. Her voice. You see what I'm saying? And like she's talking to him, okay, it's your mother. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let me know you good in that motherly way. You understand what I'm saying? Many of us are still alive based off our mothers and our grandmothers' prayers.
So true.
You see what I'm saying? So to have her voice on the album, to have her voice in this volume, and for him to give me permission. And then, you know, we did this breakdown of the album, and we're trying our best to keep it together doing the breakdown of the album and trying not to break down during the album. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, all right.
You know,
yeah. So I'm like, all right, let me just kind of keep it together. And, you know, we stayed on there as long as we could. And, you know, both of us just like, oh, man, we got to get out of here. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And have that moment of celebration, that moment of elevation, and also the time of reflection, you know. So, you know, with the solstice, still in that solstice energy, still in that new moon energy, you know, all of these things. Remember the power of your story. Remember the power of your birth. Remember the power of your name. You understand what I'm saying? You're changing your name out here. Remember the power of your name. If you don't know the power of your name, if you don't know the power of your story, if you don't know what somebody utilized and set aside, had it in mind for you, you know, in regards to your name of your nature. If your name no longer suits your nature, then I would say, you know, I could say change it. But if it's no longer suiting you to who you are and who you are becoming, if it's who you will become in the future, then roll with that, because that's a part of that name. And have that understanding of that's why this name was chosen for you. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know,
you're speaking my language now.
That name, right? You know, your birth story. You understand what I'm saying? Like, sit down with your children, sit down with your loved ones, find out their birth stories. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you want to build something with somebody, build with them from their physical genesis. You see what I'm saying? So you can get a snapshot into their mental, emotional, and spiritual genesis. Sit down with them. Do they know their birth story? Do you know why you were named this? If you were named after somebody in your family, who was that in your family? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So again, showing this space in regards to it. And if you changed your name, you received different names over the years, what were they connected to? Who were they connected to? You see what I'm saying? Somebody could call you something. You'd be like, you know me in the 7th grade.
That's how
you understand what I'm saying? So it's like all these things matter, you know.
They do.
So these are all lives that you lived. So your credence, your story, and to the people who are listening, to the starseeds that are listening, and those starseeds who will listen, you are enough. You are enough. Yes. You are on purpose for a purpose. You are enough. Your story is needed, your talent, your gifts, your skills. If you left here tomorrow, there will be a void that could never be filled.
Never.
Of your life and your contribution. So make sure that you are sharing the best of your story, the best aspects of yourself with the world. The world is in need of who you are. You understand what I'm saying? And it won't be itself without you. You know. So
yes.
For this opportunity to commune with you, God Israel, on this wonderful, universal conspiring platform over here. Conspiring for our greatest and highest good over here on the Starseed Podcast. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I'm excited, to be coming back over here. So I need to give you one of them Pronoia, change. You see what I'm saying?
Ashe.
And I have segments to be able to help folks really refine their stories, to start from scratch, to go from idea to book, or idea to podcast, or idea to whatever you're looking to do, your goals, your aims, and objectives. Storytelling is in that precipice of getting you from novelty to, proper execution and then sustainability.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh man, like I'm having all these thoughts while you talking of everything. You're just pulling on all these strings in my mind. I lost my mother in 2021, and that's like a portal that let you into this world closing out, and now you are the portal, and your children look to you, but my kids never really got to know my mother. But I will say, and as I always said, my mother has done more for me in the astral realm than she even did for me in this human life form. Like my mother is guiding me so much. It's so crazy. So so much synchronicity tonight. It was so much on my brain. I can't even get it all out. But I want to say, yes, your story is important. Yes, you are enough. Yes, we need to hear your story. There are people out here who may not be able to survive what you survived and will be able to survive because you told your story of how you got through it. Like there's so much that we can learn from each other. And so this is why, again, Divine got Pronoia Starseed Podcast. I came here by myself as a singular one person. And now it's like Divine's like, no, we have many stories to tell. As I say, we're all a part of the fracture of this glass. And once we put the mirror back together, everyone can see a better picture of what it is that we're here to do together collectively. And I love, how you tell the story, how you can teach us how to tell the story. And yes, in 2026, there is so much more to come, Starseeds. There's so much. And I'm trying to bite my tongue. But there's so much to come. And just make sure you tap it in for the season finale on the 30th. I have some very special announcements to make about Pronoia Starseed Podcast and the new season that's to come. So make sure you're tapped in, because again, this all of it, even the way you're talking about how the stories intertwine, Nick, from Temple Talks to numerology to tomorrow, I am talking about changing your name and what it means to change your name and what you gain from changing your name and who gives you the permission to change your name. And I'm also decoding Rumpelstiltskin, the bonds and the contracts we make with sometimes people with short people problems, the bonds and contracts that we make.
Why ain't invited to the Rumpelstiltskin party? You could have, what I'm saying? Who told you my name? Okay.
Man, if y'all never seen a narcissist before, go and remember that Rumpelstiltskin story. You don't know how he had narcissistic rage when she figured out what his name was, because the secret was out of the bag. The bond, the contract was broken. And once the secret is out, you can no longer be held back. So tomorrow on Transformation Tuesdays, we are decoding our names. We are breaking down what it is to change your name. In the Bible, Paul went from Saul to Paul. What does that mean? From Abraham to Abraham, like he changed his name. And to change your name has such a significance. I am the goddess Rael. I am no longer Foxy Roxy, and it's not that that's not a part of my story. It is. Foxy Roxy has her own story, but the goddess Rael is the new chapter. And as we move forward again, Divine will give you permission and tell you when it's time. Sometimes there will be times where you need to change your name because it changes your vibration, your frequency, and truly who you are. And it may open you up more to who you truly are. So yes, I love how all of these different episodes kind of like intertwine and they just like an Erykah Badu album, they just roll to the next one. So make sure you tapped in tomorrow, you guys, for Transformation Tuesdays as we continue this conversation, basically. It'll just be me on the platform, but we'll be talking big time about changing your name. So if you ever felt the need to change your name, if you ever felt, that desire, I understand. And just like when you was describing